Welcome back to Nine Toes Studios. My name is Adam. Welcome back to Nine Toes Studios. This episode, we're going to try something a little bit different. You may have noticed our new introduction and titles. A little bit of music at the beginning, and I'm wearing a microphone, so hopefully the audio is going to be a little bit better. In this episode, we're simply going to make some stuff. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll explain here shortly. For now, go ahead and sit back, relax. Let's go with this today. And I'll see you down in the workshop. So my wife and I have an older boat that we use as a vacation getaway. And the last time that we were down visiting her, I was digging through some of the drawers, rearranging some of the stuff. And in those drawers over on the left-hand side of the screen, I found tucked in there a old navigation book, Seamanship and Navigation, from 1975. So pretty sure it was original with the boat. And tucked into the pages of that book was this license plate. It's plastic, and pretty sure this was original to the boat as well. And I want to put this on my car, but since it's 50 years old, it's probably irreplaceable, and I'm thinking there may be a number of other Gulf Star owners out there that might want one. So what I'm going to do today is, first of all, scan that image. And I've got a whole bunch of scanners down in here, but I think I'm going to just grab the one that is most convenient. So we'll come over here to my Epson EcoTank 15,000. We'll throw this in here. Wake it up. Scan. Computer. All right. Wait for it to do its thing. And there we go. All right, let's go ahead next. We're going to save this as a PNG. Let's save it. Sure, right here. Oops. Folder will, oh, come on. And we're going to call it. That's where we messed up. And we'll save it right there. All right. So let's go ahead and go into Photoshop. And we're going to rotate this. .90 degrees counterclockwise. And then we're going to remove the background. Get rid of all that white in the back. Now let's clean this image up. Like many other things, I am not a Photoshop expert. So if you are, you're probably screaming at the screen right now, and I apologize for that. So we're actually going to use the remove tool. And let's make this a little bit bigger for now. And for right now, let's go ahead and just go in and any of these artifacts that we see. Ooh, we'll have to shrink the brush down for that one. Don't let me forget about that one. We're just going to go through here and get rid of. So this is scanned 50-year-old plastic. It's got some scratches. It's got some watermarks. And we don't want those showing up in our new stuff that we're going to create using this. Clean some up in the gold. There's one. Get rid of all that stuff. Get rid of that. All of that. Guess I didn't need to make the brush smaller on that one, did I? There's some stuff there. Looks like there's some junk up here in the corner. Some white here. That's better. Really didn't like that streak that was showing up there. You know, the other thing that I think we should go ahead and get rid of is the bolt holes in the license plate frame. Nope, don't like that. We'll fix that here in a second. That one and that one. All right, let's shrink this down a little bit. Oh yeah, that's much better. Don't like that. Let's see if we can make that look any better. I don't think I am. Oops. Shrink this down. not really making this any better. So I am going to go ahead and back out and restart this. I'm not going to force you to watch it all over again, so I'll be right back. All right, after messing with it for about 20 minutes, I also went ahead and cropped it. I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. So now we can go ahead and export it. It's PNG. All right. Actually, let's go here. Let's go there. Let's go there. And save it. No. All right, so let's go on and see how that looks. All right, pretty good. So what are we going to make with this? Well, what I was thinking was maybe a custom sign, a replacement license plate, and maybe a coffee cup. So let's jump on those. Okay, jump on those may have been a little bit optimistic. It's now the next day, but let's go ahead and start working on our sign. Okay, so let's open up Lightburn. And let's go ahead and I've created a jig and a template here in Lightburn so that I know exactly where my plywood is lined when I start doing laser cuts. So let's go ahead and open up that template. Now, one thing that you always want to make sure is that you measure your plywood. Sometimes it'll be advertised as 12 by 12. When you measure it, it's smaller. So the stuff that I'm using today is actually 11 3/4 by 11 3/4. So let's go ahead and create a tooling mark representing that plywood. All right, perfect. So it matches the same tooling line that we had for the jig. So now let's go ahead and create our cut. So I'll get off that, get into the circle. Let's go ahead and create our cut line. Let's make this one a little bit smaller and go 11.5. All right, and then if we grab first of all, we'll change our line back to tooling. But if we grab that and the cut line at the same time, then we can align it horizontally and vertically. Okay, actually, let's go ahead and delete that out. Get rid of both of those. We know that this one's 11.75, so we're just going to put our circle in there. Less layers to have to worry about. And we want that as a cut line. So we're going to go 11.5. Let's grab that and get it roughly in there. Grab our tooling line and align it. Okay. So the next thing that we want to do is bring in our scanned license plate image. So we'll go ahead and go to File, Import. Is this the one? This is the one. Okay, let's grab this one. Okay, so this brought it in as an image, and we don't really want the whole thing. So what we're going to do is right-click and trace image. Then we're going to adjust the threshold and cutoff until we get a good outline image of our lettering. Okay, and I think that looks perfect. And our laurel leaves. So we'll bring that in. Let's see which one we have a picture or a hold of. It's the picture, so we'll go ahead and delete that. Then I'm going to cheat a little bit. And I'm going to grab this, bring it out here. First of all, we're going to change it to a different cut. We'll grab the whole thing. We're going to go ahead and ungroup it, which will allow us to go in and get rid of that. And then I think there's also some additional garbage floating around in it. That actually looks really pretty good. So then we'll grab it again and we will regroup it back together. And let's move it over into our project. And we'll go ahead and grab all of this. And we'll center that. And actually I think I'm going to resize this because I have a rope frame that I think would look really good around this. So let's go ahead and, just before I forget, we'll recenter this. And then let's go ahead and import that rope frame. Where might I have put that? Oh, I know where it is. Sign space. All right, it is in here, in here. No, that's not it. There it is. And we'll bring this in. Same thing comes in as an image. I'm going to go ahead and move it over here. We'll right click, we'll trace the image. I'm going to leave this just like it is because we're going to get rid of all of this stuff in the center. We'll go ahead and delete that. We'll, oops. Oh, my goodness. Ungroup this. Go ahead and delete that. Delete that. Get rid of the R here. Then we're going to want to regroup all of this. That way we don't lose the little lines and details that are in here. And then we're also going to resize this down to the same size as our cut. Actually, we're going to make this just a hair smaller. So we'll do 11.4. And I want it to be exactly equal. So now let's drag this over into here. And we're going to grab that. Oops, we'll grab this. And this. And this. And we'll align all of it. Okay, I like the way that that looks. Let's see our cut settings for the line. That should be fine. And for the etch, that should be fine. Okay, let's go ahead and set this up and get it burning. Okay, so we'll come over here to our laser printer. When I turn this on, it's gonna make a little bit of noise, and I apologize for that. Hopefully you'll still be able to hear me over it. So we'll fire up our laser printer. And then I also have, a external ventilation fan so that we can crank everything outside. We're going to go ahead and turn that on, which is going to make it much louder in here. And I do apologize for that. So I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. And you can see that 3D printed jig that I've created so that I know exactly where that bottom left corner of a piece of plywood is going to be. So we're going to go ahead and home the unit. Actually, before we do that, we're doing engraving and cutting. Okay, so that's set up right where it should be. Just double checking the focus on the laser cutter. And we'll go ahead and get that started on the software. Take a look. That turned out pretty good. So now to finish this off, I think we'll put a few coats of Minwax Polyshade, stain and polyurethane. We're gonna go with the pecan satin this time. So, and there we go. So there's our custom sign. I think this video is getting a little bit long, so let's do the license plate and the cup in the next video. As always, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't watched our earlier videos, please go take a look at those. And I'm always appreciative of a like and subscribe. Have a great day.